Waiting. Just waiting. Just waiting for the streams to get live. Oh, 1 second. Now there's light. Now there's light. Well, it's Mike Bravo. Good morning, Mike Bravo. Nice to see you. You must be busy, a busy man. Lots of stuff going on in your world, I bet. Man, that's good coffee. Should talking about you a little bit last night, Mike. We had trivia night. I know you're a busy guy, and you had a hard time making it. I was thinking about getting my Kalispell Brewing Company mug again because it's Friday. We do wear red, of course, on Friday. That's what we do. Kevin, good morning. Good to see you again. Crack at dawn for coffee and PT. Off to the skiff. Yeah, 9 hours of good old-fashioned skiff fun. We throw my message out there, see if it does what it's supposed to do. It seems to be. You know what I feel? You know how I feel about Restream right now. Restream is not my best friend right now, but they did get a hold of me, and they want to make things right, so to speak. They want to get the chat fixed. So we'll see if this fixed the chat. We see YouTube coming through, but it always starts out okay. It's just a thing as it goes on. As the day goes on, let's see how the chats continue to work. I'll keep track of them over there. I'll keep track of them. I just got to keep going between these two tabs and make sure that everything's coming through. What a week. What a week. What do we got here in Virginia? That's for sure. We had storms and 100-degree weather and storms and 100-degree weather. Looks like we're going to have rain tomorrow. More rain coming. It's just nice. Good thing we've got our illy coffee all warmed up, hot for our morning look at the cyber news. We got a bunch of cyber news. A bunch of stuff going on. The FBI's warning about ransomware. Go figure. The Netgear folks are like, we ain't creating no stinking patches. We don't need no stinking patches. EU is just boycotting a bunch of malware folks. Not boycotting, they're restricting access, and I'm not sure how that works. A lot of these APT actors, the front companies that front them, EU's going after them, and Tor. I got a conspiracy theory brewing about Tor based on some 0 days they don't want to patch. I don't know. We'll see. Let me know what you see, what you think. Yeah, same in Ohio. Nasty weather in Ohio. I have a friend that was a big fan of Ohio State, and he says that in Ohio they don't give a damn about the whole state of Michigan. That's the phrase he used to say. Morning, Paul. It's good to see you again. Too bad you missed the rundown last night. Trivia night last night was pretty good. We dropped the stream right in the middle. We ended up like almost dead in the middle of the question rounds. Dropped the connection, so we ended up, if you go watch it, there's two halves out there for before and after the connection was dropped. There was a lot of just storm-related issues going on. So that was that. What do you guys, hopefully you guys got good stuff planned this weekend. Hopefully there's good things in your future that maybe get you away from work for a little while. I certainly am, but I do have plenty of work to do too. Good coffee. So let's roll our intro. That'll give me a chance to move things around and get ready to talk about the news. Perfect. And we got this coffee dude here. Still, I think Dennis was the jumping Java. I don't know. We need a name for that. I think we named the gorilla on the mouse pad. I think we went with Emotet last night. We're going to name him Emotet just because he looks like he should be Emotet. That's my thought. That's what I'm thinking about. But on to the news. The FBI's in the news. FBI likes to be in the news. I got to put this on the screen. 8 hours and wake up. Vacation next week. Awesome, Mike. Good for you. Hopefully you're doing something fun. I know in quarantine while it's hard to find things to do. There are obviously things you can do out there, but not like it used to be. A lot of things closed down. So FBI is worried about Netwalker. Netwalker ransomware is out. It's targeting U.S. and foreign government organizations, advising victims to obviously pay the ransom, or we're going to release your information. These guys are ransomware for hire. They're also known as Malto. And the FBI saying they're going after all kinds of folks. They're going after U.S. government organizations and folks supporting U.S. government organizations. And they say they've been targeting these folks since about June 2020. So about a month long, they've been targeting U.S. government organizations. And these folks are ransomware as a service. So they're doing it for someone. They're using the COVID-19 as part of the phishing lures. That's part of it. Delivering a VB script to the victims when they click on the link. That's not it though. They're also exploiting a couple vulnerabilities: CVE 2019 11.510 and 2019 18.935. Both of them attack. Are vulnerabilities that are attacked in VPN software. Mike, bravo. That's the chat. Maybe the chats are working now. Raz, good business. Bad Boys out there a few years ago. Folks wanted Raz for a budget. Mike, you're the money is behind all this stuff. Yeah, obviously the money's driving this. There's good. You're right. There's good money in ransomware as a service. It's easy money. It's good money because if you do get a couple big payoffs, you're good. Because normally if you go after a big organization, they almost don't have a choice to give you the money. Right now they almost don't have a choice. If they don't have protections in place, and you pointed it out weeks ago, immutable backups that are kept offline. The FBI is also recommending in the cloud where it can be protected from encryption. Encryption by someone other than you. That's what the FBI is saying. They have some tips for you. Backup critical data offline. Ensure they're on a external hard drive or other storage device. Have antivirus, have malware, train your users, keep computers and devices up to date, that kind of stuff. It's funny for the FBI to say this, is they say don't pay the ransom because you're probably not going to get your data back anyways, even if you pay the ransom. But then they go on to say, but most businesses, have this critical data and they can understand if the ransom has to be paid. As we know, a lot of these folks, including these guys, they copy your data first. So if you don't pay the ransom, not only you're not going to get your data back, your data could be posted somewhere online, and that's what Netwalker does, like Maze, like several of the other ones. So not only are you not going to get it back, well, you might get it back by taking it offline where it's been posted for everyone. Co-location backup as a service, hell yeah. If you're storing a backup locally on your same network that can be attacked, obviously it's going to be easy for the attacker to not only encrypt your data, but also the backup you have. And then in that case, backup doesn't do anything to protect you from the ransomware attack. It's still good for, disaster recovery or continuity of operations. Still perfect for that, but it's not going to help you from ransomware, which is a huge threat right now. And it has to be. If that's not in your threat profile right now, that's not in your organizational threat profile today, your risk people are behind the curve. Ransomware attacks has got to be in everyone's risk profile. Doesn't matter. You got to put it there. Rate it low if you want to, but you got to put it there. You got to start thinking about what you're going to do to protect yourself from ransomware, because it's out there and it's just getting stronger, and they're getting more organized, and they're collaborating, and they're developing new techniques, and it's bad news. And Mike, you're exactly good on the money. Good on the money. So that's FBI talking about ransomware. Glad you're out there doing it. A couple tips. Check out the article. There's a couple tips for taking care of your systems and all of that jazz. The EU sanctions Russian espionage unit, Chinese and North Korean firms. This article is from Bleeping Computer? Yeah, Bleeping Computer. The Council of European Union today announced sanctions imposed on Russian military espionage unit, as well as front companies for Chinese and North Korean threat groups involved in cyber attacks targeting EU and member states. And I'm not sure where this is going to go. The EU sanctions include asset freezes, travel bans, forbidding EU organizations and individuals from transferring to sanctioned peoples and entities. You can't transfer, assets or money or any of that stuff. Goes on to say the council today decided to impose restrictive measures against 6 individuals and 3 entities responsible for or involved in various cyber attacks. And they go after, of course, they're going to go after the big. There's several units that are part of Cozy Bear and Fancy Bear. 74455 is a intelligence service unit that's being sanctioned. I'm not sure what good the EU is going to do in sanctioning a military unit. Okay, these are the folks you remember back the DNC when they were hacked. That was these guys. Fancy Bear, I think. Cozy Bear is part of it too. It's a different unit though. That's not 74455. These guys are also involved in Sandworm, NotPetya, Eternal Petya, the attacks against the Ukrainian power grid in 2015, 2016. What they use says, attempted cyber attack was aimed at hacking the Wi-Fi networks of the OPCW, which is an organization that's against the it's the Organization for the Prohibition of Chemical Weapons, right? So these guys go in and see where chemical weapons are at and that kind of stuff. If which is successful, would have compromised the security of networks and the OPCW's ongoing investigation work. The Netherlands Defense, Intelligence and Security Services, or DISS, disrupted the attempted cyber attack, thereby preventing the damage to the OPCW, and that's from the Council of European Union. So apparently that's the straw that broke the camel's back, is when they went after the OPCW's network. I mean, there was all these things building to it. And the other one, the Chosen Expo, is a front company for North Korea's APT-38, part of Lazarus, and they put sanctions against them. Financial material support. They're providing financial and material support to APT-38, so the EU put sanctions against them. I can see sanctions against a company. I really can see putting sanctions against a company, especially if that company is doing business in the EU, then the sanctions might work. But if it's a front company, they probably don't give a crap about anybody buying or selling anything to them because they're just a front company. I don't know. We'll see what happens with the sanctions. Sanctions on a military unit, though, I'm not. What do you guys think about that? Sanctioning a military unit. EU states and companies should be held accountable under GDPR as well. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, GDPR. If you haven't, And Mike, I don't know if you've had to deal with GDPR where you're at, but if you haven't dealt with GDPR, I've dealt with it in a couple companies. It's a monster. GDPR is much more restrictive than any privacy protection law we have here in the United States. If you've gone to a website anytime in the last year, you notice every one of them has this banner that pops up that says, "We are keeping cookies. We're tracking cookies. We have to have cookies so that we can make the web experience better," or some such nonsense. And that's because of GDPR. GDPR makes it mandatory for you to notify people that you're tracking cookies on them. There's a ton of other requirements in there. Biggest one is the right to be forgotten. So if you are tracking people, if you have personal information on somebody, somebody wants you to get rid of that data, you have to be able to totally wipe it from your system. Now, obviously, there's restrictions or cutouts for government agencies and things like that. But if you're an organization, if you're a commercial organization, and you don't have to be operating in the EU, you just have to be somewhere where some person that's part of the EU may use your services, which could be your web services as well. So obviously that's a big thing, Mike. GDPR is huge, but I don't know. What do you guys think about sanctioning a military unit? 7455. Okay, sanction us. I'm not sure they really care. I don't know. But it's time for your conspiracy theory startup of the day. So Tor is in the news. The Onion router. A lot of us have used this before. It's a place where you can route through other people's networks, and say you're in the United States, you can pop up and look like you're on the internet from France. I know a lot of people used to use it in the past. If your city was blacked out from like a baseball or football game, you could go on Tor, reroute yourself, and come out somewhere else on the internet where it's not blacked out and watch the game still on the internet. Just a way you can use this. So over the past few weeks, a security researcher has published technical details about 2 vulnerabilities, and there's 0 days, impacting the Tor network and the Tor browser. Dr. Neil Krawetz said he was going public with details about 2 alleged 0 days after the Tor project repeatedly failed to address multiple issues he's reported across the past years, right? So here's the 2 issues, and then I'll tell you some of the other issues this guy brought up. And he's taking his ball and he's going home. He's not playing with Tor. He used to help Tor a lot, apparently, and he's taking his ball and he's leaving. He's not helping Tor anymore. And I'm not sure that Tor really cares, but so Dr. Krawetz operates multiple Tor nodes himself and has a long history of finding and reporting Tor bugs. And he reported these 2 last week. So the first one, in this blog, whatever, okay. In a blog from the July 23rd, the researcher described how companies and internet service providers could block users from connecting to a Tor network by scanning network connections for a distinct packet signature that is unique to the Tor network. The packet could be used a way to block Tor connections from initiating and effectively ban Tor altogether. An issue that oppressive regimes may very likely abuse. So that's number 1, is in the Tor packet, there's some kind of signature that indicates it's going onto the Tor network, which isn't entirely possible. The second issue that he points out is like the first one, that allows network operators to detect Tor traffic. However, while the first could be used to detect direct connections to the Tor network to guard those Tor nodes, the second one can be used to detect indirect connections. These are connections that are used to make Tor bridges, especially type of entry points, into Tor network that can be used by companies and ISPs to block direct access to Tor networks. Tor bridges act as proxy points to relay connections from the user to the Tor network itself. Because they're sensitive Tor servers, the list of Tor bridges is constantly being updated to make it difficult for ISPs to block. So those are the 2 things he picked up. The other things he did in the past was a bug that allows websites to detect and fingerprint Tor browser users by the width of their scroll bar. As the Tor project's known about this since at least June 2017, and a bug that allows network adversaries to detect Tor bridge servers on their Onion router port. And then a bug, the third one is a bug that lets attackers identify SSL libraries used by Tor servers, which was reported in December. So all these things, to me, are ways to identify Tor traffic and Tor nodes, and they're not fixing them. Tor is not fixing them. So here's where you can let that conspiracy theory grow, that someone wants to be able to use these signatures or these traits to track Tor traffic. That's my conspiracy theory startup of the day. I don't know, it may be out there already, but Tor is used by a lot of people to try to protect their traffic. Tor is used by a ton of people in oppressed countries, people that have oppressive regimes on them. And I'm not talking about, you can't get to Starbucks and get your latte. I'm talking about really oppressive regimes that I look at the group of people that are talking this morning. Most of you have been places where you've seen regimes like this, and maybe even helped topple some of them in the past. But this is what you got to worry about. Are these just bugs that Tor hasn't got around to fixing yet, or are they intentional markers that are put into the system to allow that to happen? And I'm not saying it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm just floating it out there. Could that be a conspiracy theory? And what are your thoughts on that? And do you use the Tor network? I used to think Tor network was pretty cool. Tor project. So Dr. Neil, his post he threw up onto, looks like Twitter. It looks like Twitter. I'm giving up reporting bugs to the Tor project. Tor has serious problems that need to be addressed. They know about many of them and refuse to do anything. I'm holding off dropping Tor 0 days until the protests are over. We need Tor now, even with bugs. After protests comes the 0 days. So there's a response. This article's been updated since it was originally posted on ZDNet, and it's got a huge response from Tor. If you want to read the Tor, it's just why they haven't fixed the bugs and how they're working on it. And so the article even says the Tor project has responded to Dr. Neal's 2 blog posts in a lengthy response dealing each issue. Which we're reproducing fully below. So you can check out the ZDNet article in the show notes below, and read about the response from Tor, or the Onion Router project. So I'll let you guys think about that conspiracy theory. I'm not saying it's true or not. I'm just saying that's ripe. Those 0 days that are pointed out by this guy are ripe for conspiracy theory development. Netgear. We talked about Netgear. You need to, if you have Netgear devices, I know, Mike Bravo, you've got a ton of Netgear at your house. You love this stuff. It's awesome, right? If you've got Netgear there, just check and make sure that all streams or the chats are coming through. Yeah, it looks like they're coming through. You guys are just being quiet this morning. That's okay. If you have these, there's a list. If you go check the list out, if you've got anything that's branded Netgear in your house at all, if it's got Netgear on there, there we go. Come on, there we go. That's right. Daisy chained with Netgear. I don't know that I was thinking I had in the past an old Netgear access point. I'm gonna see if it's on the list. It's in a box somewhere. The bottom line on this one, we reported a while ago, there's some exploit code that's been developed, and Grim, I know the guys that run Grim, a good group of guys, developed some proof of concepts about the small office, home office routers and networking devices that's put out by Netgear. And the reason they put it out is because there was vulnerabilities in Netgear. Netgear wasn't doing anything about it. Grim came up. They said, okay, they built some proof of concept and said, here, look, this is how we can exploit it. And they patched a bunch of them. There was like, let me get the numbers here. It was like 72. I thought they had the number in the article. It was like 79. There were 79, and they patched some of them. Some of the new stuff they patched, and then 45 devices that are listed on the webpage. So if you got Netgear, go out and look at the devices that are listed here. I see a bunch of wireless stuff on here, of course. There's 45 devices, and Netgear's basically said they're out of service. If you look at the advisory page on Netgear's advisory page, under these 45 devices, the status for this fix for an exploitable vulnerability is none, semicolon, outside the security support period. So if you have any of these things, you need to go ahead and just throw them away. Netgear is not going to support them. They're not going to update them. I would suggest you go out and get a unified device. Just ditch this stuff and go get Unify. Let's see, Mike, you got to say, it's good to make a testing rack at home and learn exploitation. Yeah. If you want to build a lab at home to practice exploitation, get you some Netgear stuff, throw it in the rack, and build your lab around that. I couldn't say it better myself. Yeah, my Netgear stuff's all going in the dang garbage. Yeah, yep. Consider Netgear as end of life. Throw it in the trash. Don't donate it. Don't give the problem to someone else. I know a lot of you are gonna look at it and go, it's a good access point. I'll donate it to whatever, Goodwill or whatever. Don't just throw it in the garbage. They're not gonna fix this. That means they're not gonna fix anything else that's coming out. Any other vulnerability, it is end of life. Or EOL, as Mike said there, it's end of life. Throw it in the garbage. Netgear, you get yet another drop down on my list. I know it's outside the service period. I know it's old gear. I know you don't want to support it, but it's your gear. You built it, and most companies, even if it's old, they're going to figure some way to support it if it has any possibility of still being used by someone. You're creating a device that's just it's junk. It's a bad way, in my mind. It's a bad way to do business, Netgear. That's all I must say about that. Android. If you got an Android device, there's new malware out there. It's called BlackRock. It's prowling cyberspace. I like how they say prowling cyberspace. It's not prowling anywhere. They put it in a bunch of applications. They put it in the App Store, and they're waiting for people to download it. So it's an attack campaign of this Trojan category. It's active globally, said the Computer Emergency the Computer Emergency Response Team, or CERT of India. CERT-IN. It's reporting the new Android malware strain dubbed BlackRock is equipped with data stealing capabilities, attacking a wide range of Android applications. They give the name. It started out as banking apps, right? But now there's 337 applications which are they focus on social networking, communication, networking data platforms, as well as the banking stuff they started with. And obviously they go on to say, there's a lot of stuff this thing can do once it gets on. It's a Trojan, right? So it's a Trojan. Its goal is to get you to give it administrative privileges. The way it does that is that once it's installed, it makes a pop-up that says Google needs to be updated. When you click the button that says Update Google, it's actually giving permission for this malware to run with administrator privileges. Then it doesn't need your help anymore. It's going to go do its thing. And then once it has that as a Trojan installed locally on your system, it's going to do anything it wants. It's going to capture keystrokes. It's going to capture pictures. It's going to send information out. Oops. Code signing, man. Yeah, the only way. Yeah, as long as the signature's good. Yeah, make sure they're signed. Go to reputable sources and get them. I know most people say the Google Store is the reputable source. You got to have signed applications. And we've seen that where it pops up and it says, hey, this application from Cisco wants to be installed. And if you know you're installing something from Cisco, you know it's probably if it's signed by Cisco and it's a Cisco app, you're probably good to go. And I say probably because there's always a way around. Attackers are always doing stuff. But if you're installing something, you're installing the Cisco app and it's made by Larry's Garage, or it's not signed at all, there's an issue. Don't install it. So they're really big about, in the article, if you're getting a banking app, go to the banking site. Go to your bank and get it, or make sure you're getting it from a signed version from the App Store from your bank, that kind of thing. Another stuff they say on here, protections are, install malware, malware protection, use trusted Wi-Fi, use VPNs when possible, encrypt your SD, encrypt your card, right? It's like getting cool binaries from mega uploading, getting upset, you get owned. Yeah, I remember people used to carry those back in the days of CDs. People carry around CDs with, several hundred applications, and share them like crazy and wonder why everybody got infected with viruses. Yeah, again, nothing's free. If you think you're getting something free, you're paying for it somehow. Mega upload. It's funny. Yeah, so if you're going to install apps, make sure you're getting them as secure as possible. Get them from a reputable site. Make sure they're signed. Make sure you have malware protections, and they're saying make sure you have malware protections with AI-powered mobile antivirus, which cool. Yeah, I think that's it. It's going to block this tricky type of malware. Do the right thing on there. When this thing's on your device, it's probably going to stay there for a while until you wipe everything and restart it. So obviously the why of all this, the why would they want to do it, is to get on your system. Either capture data or use your platform for something they want to use it for, Bitcoin mining, or spreading malware. Obviously, if they get on your phone, they can use, and they have all the privileges they want. They can send messages to all your friends to try to spread the virus, spread themselves, spread this thing out. Here's a good one. Sarah, so many people say it's a phone, I don't need antivirus. I don't even check what they're and don't even check what they're downloading is legit. There's a weird disconnect that just a phone and not a handheld computer. Yeah, it's just the evolution of the cell phones, Sarah. I think you hit it on the head, though. People they don't see this as a computer. They don't see these phones as a computer. But we know they are. There's more processing power, like the old quote, and I've never looked into it, so it may be totally fake, but more processing power in your phone than put a man on the moon, which I believe that seems totally reasonable to me nowadays. There's a lot of power on that phone. And they're tied to everything. They're tied to your home network. They're tied to your banking apps. They've got all your PII. They probably have far more information on a phone than is actually on your computer, probably. It's weird. The way people's brains work. And I want to download this game I'm going to play while I'm waiting in the airport, and I'll just download it and not even think twice about it. It's crazy to me. I agree with you. It's loco in the cabeza that they do this. So, watch out for this if you're on there. If you're using an Android, if you're using an iPhone, the same thing. To me, and this is just my personal opinion, I think that Apple does a much better job of policing their App Store than Google does with the Android store. Personal preference. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't have anything to back that up other than I know it's extremely hard to get an app into the Apple Store, and it's not as hard to get an application into the Google Store. Just my guess there. So that takes us to the end of the Friday news. Ton of stuff going on. It is of all days. We're gonna have our weird holiday. The holiday today is National Mutt Day, and the link you have in your show notes is nationalmuttday.com, right? Yeah, they're the folks that put this thing on. It's just they two days a year they bring this kind of thing to the forefront. Mixed breed dogs. A lot of people go after purebred dogs, and sometimes these mixed breed dogs go into the pound and they don't ever come out. It's a sad state. Don't go out. In my mind, again, according to Jim, my mind, don't go out and buy a dog that possibly could be from a puppy mill. If you know the breeder and all that, that's one thing. But a lot of times these purebred dogs come from puppy mills, and that's terrible. I lived in Missouri for a while and saw some of those places getting raided and what they look like. Then you got all these dogs in the pound that, they're time's a ticking when you're in the pound. Sometimes mixed breed dogs are the best dogs you're going to get anyways. That's from a guy that would love to have a dog. Piper's not down here this morning. She's been a little bit lazy. But yeah, check out National Mutt Day. I think it's a good one. I think you're right, Mike. App whitelisting is the way to go if you can do it. But how many people are going to whitelist apps on their phone? If it's an organizationally owned device, yeah. MDM and mobile device management, and lock those things down as much as you can. Keep people from installing anything. But when you're talking about, your Aunt Sarah's phone, not Aunt Sarah, that's bad, Sarah. I won't know. Your Aunt Sally's phone, they're probably just clicking buttons and downloading stuff. Oh, I want to play Candy Crush. I want to play the other game that looks just like Candy Crush. I want to play the third game that is exactly like Candy Crush. And those are all like Tetris or something. I don't know. But that's our job as the security folks in our groups of friends, families, and coworkers. We have to be that sounding board every once in a while. I mean, you can't be like this all the time, or people stop hanging out with you. But you have to point out, don't do that. Like I point out to my lovely bride all the time, you don't need TikTok. Don't use TikTok. She likes TikTok. She likes the talking dogs and stuff. So, okay. Pick your fights, right? So we watch out what's on her phone. Just, if you know they're going to do it, see what else they're doing with their phone. And that's the way of life. We balance risks, right? Risk and reward, and risk and security. We have to do that as security folks. So that's the rundown of the day. I'm glad you guys could be here this morning. I know you got all kinds of stuff going on in your day, and if you can carve some time out to hang out and be with security-minded people, I do appreciate it. If you're watching this later in the day, because I know some of you can't watch it. Yeah. Kids are creating a test bed here. Yeah, they're creating your own test environment. And some things you gotta determine if it's good or bad. Our CSO actually talked to the new CSO for TikTok America, who was trying to calm everyone's fears that no, they're looking into things. They're trying to make sure that it's not sending information back to China. We know that if China is behind the tool, they're going to do everything they can to get the information they built the tool for. If TikTok was truly built to support the Chinese government, like many people say it is, they will continue to use that tool for that end, however they need to, right? They'll say what they need to say, and everything was caveated. So according to this guy, as far as he knew, none of this stuff was planned, none of this stuff was going to be continued, that kind of stuff. So that's according to what he knew, which is quite a caveat as well. So install at your own risk, right? And that's going to be a signed app. That's going to be a known signed app. We think bigger things are at play behind TikTok. I do, at least. It's infectious. They've hit the mix of what people are looking for at almost the perfect time, right? This pandemic, people have a bunch of time on their hand. TikTok is little catchy things. They've got a whole group of, and they're not Gen Xers, they're the next gen, I guess, whatever the next one, or not millennials. They're not millennials. They're the next generation after the millennials that are really into this thing, and they're producing content like nobody's business. You even have folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, who's big into social media advertising, pushing corporations to advertise and push advertisements on TikTok, which you see a bunch of them doing. It's TikTok. Think about it before you install it. I'm not saying don't install it. I'm not saying do install it. I'm just saying think about what you're doing before you install it or any other application. So that's my end of my rant in the morning. I hope you have good plans this weekend. Hope you have a bunch of good things going on. Obviously, check out the show notes for links to all these articles. Check out your Netgear stuff if you got it. Make sure you're not on the list. If you got friends, family, coworkers that have Netgear stuff, actually, if you have friends, families, coworkers that have Wi-Fi networks that are beyond just the stuff that the cable company puts in, ask them what it is, because they're not going to know. They're going to have to go, hold on, let me go look at it. Tell them to go look at it, and normally emblazoned on the top of the thing is Netgear. They like to use that 3D printing crap, or not 3D printing, but where they, it's reliefed into the top of the device that says Netgear. Spend less time doing that, more time securing your stuff, Netgear. That's all I got to say. But anyways, if you could, as always, hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, hit the bell over there to be notified when we go live. We have new content out, that kind of stuff. Hit the like button. It helps the logarithm. Comment below. I'd love to hear what you got to say. Congratulations to Ralph again last night. Mike, everybody said you were afraid to come because Ralph was there. Ralph took trivia night. JJ took second. And JJ was was pretty impressive. He jumped in after we had started. I think we were in the end of the second or third round. He jumped in and still came out second. He didn't even get the first questions. So JJ came in second last night. That's right. Go get some. Break them off a piece. So next trivia night is the 13th of August. It's a Thursday again because SLU has got my schedule a bit messed up. Yeah, I know. Honest, Fridays are better for me, but I'll try for the next trivia night. It's on a Thursday, so hopefully it can. A lot of people were getting drop-offs on Friday because people are coming out of the pandemic. People were doing things again Friday. They were out hanging out with their families and friends. So we're losing folks. Tried to do it on a night that more people can hang out and do. It's hard to pick the perfect night. It's like everything else. So we're going to go with Thursday for now because SLU wants my Mondays and Wednesdays. Maybe, possibly. They want to do a CCSP class, but the organization that they were doing it for started a bunch of mass layoffs, so they canceled that. And now they're talking about another organization wants to do an RMF 2.0 class. We'll see what they have to say. But anyways, I'm Jim with Cyber-Recon. Enjoy your day out there. Go get some. And we'll see you bright and early on Monday morning, 7:30 a.m., talking about the news of the day, what's going on, wrapping with your security compadres, and talking about how we can keep the world secure. So until then, have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday.